are you? Welcome back to the Gospel Ingrained with Lottie. So I'm on my way home and I was listening to a message that God gave to Marcus Rogers 7 days ago. And I just thought it was kind of amazing how so much of what I've been feeling, you know, th- basically, I think it was yesterday that I left a video and I was just talking about, consistency and all of that. And so um, he was also talking about the importance of consistency because the enemy, Satan, is always trying to keep us from being consistent with the things related to God because he wants us to be distracted, right? He doesn't want us to be able to focus on God. He doesn't want us to be able to trust him, to be able to connect with him so that when problems do arise, because we know that with life come problems, it's just how it is in this life right now. Um, if we are not connected to God, we get caught up in our feelings. And so, one of the analogies that Marcus used that I think was amazing, or should I say, Brother Marcus or Pastor Marcus, I don't know what's the respectful way to refer to someone else. but he was saying how basically when it says, um, though I walk through the shadow of death, and he was saying shadow, meaning it's really kind of like an illusion. It's not really something that can touch us, it's not really something that can hurt us, but it's the way that we perceive it. It's the way that we think about it and then react to it. And I'm like, wow, like that's deep. It seems so simple, but I'm just thinking like it's the shadow of death, but it's really not gonna kill me because nobody or nothing can touch me unless God allows it. So no matter what test is thrown my way, whatever kind of um, arrow the enemy is trying to, shoot me with, he can't hurt me. He has no authority. He has no say over my life. And I'm also just like we really don't understand the power of our mind. Like I know I had started a series on that because I was reading The Battlefield of the Mind. And that's really the conclusion of the book is our mindset is so powerful. There's a thing out now like the growth mindset, and it's not just related to education, but of course, as an educator, that's something we really focus on because we're trying to teach the kids to have a growth mindset. But we also need to have a growth mindset. A lot of adults don't, and that mindset of like, yeah, this is hard. Yes, I'm failing right now, but it doesn't mean I give up. And when it comes to children of God, that's how we need to be fighting in our minds. Yes, this is hard. Yes, I'm hurting. You know, yes, I've been dealing with this for so long, it feels like it will never end. But we can't give up. We can't, you know, surrender to our emotions. We can't surrender to the hurt and the pain that we experience. It's real and it hurts. And God knows that. He knows. But I think what's going on is we surrender to that situation, to the feeling, to the emotion, but we don't surrender to God. And He's asking us to surrender to Him. And that was one of my messages recently as well. Like, we really need to let go of whatever it is that we're holding on to, that we keep thinking about, that we're obsessing over. Because anxiety comes from constantly thinking about whatever problem there is. And a lot of the times, the problems that we're facing, we cannot do anything about. We have no control. The control that we have is how we perceive it, how we are thinking about it, and how we are interacting with the people who may be involved, whether that's just yourself, or it could be, you know, somebody else may be causing some issues or whatever the case. One thing that I like that I just watched in that video was he was saying when we get caught up on like some kind of issue and trying to get vengeance, revenge, um, the enemy is successful because he's distracted us from what's important, which is whatever it is that we're supposed to do, um, to ask God to come and to take control of this situation to help us out. And I've seen God work. I mean, I literally was just in something and I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to do anything about it. And people around me are just like, yeah, but that's not okay. Now, I do understand there's a difference, right? Like sometimes injustice does need to be dealt with because if we don't speak up, sometimes, because right now, like the situation could deal with you, but if you know that people are going through the same situation and they're not going to speak up, then yeah, God might have to use you to speak up on behalf of the other people, like Esther. You know what I mean? But other times, it could just be that you pray about it and you leave it for God because He's gonna take care of you. He always will take care of you. You just have to leave the situation alone. Meaning, do what you need to do to love. Hey, Officer, I see you. Thanks for joining me. But do whatever it is that you need to do in order to be Christ-like. God is looking for you to be light for Him and to have faith that He's going to take care of whatever the situation is. We don't have enough faith because that's why a lot of times we're trying to do stuff ourselves. But we're supposed to let it go. And we know that we hear it all the time, but we're not doing it. What is it going to take for us to really let go and let God? I know that's just like a saying that we say, but it's really supposed to mean something. Let go of whatever situation that you're facing. Stop worrying about it. Stop stressing about it. Stop wasting your time. Focus on it when for the most part you know that whatever you're doing is not really going to make the change. Trusting in God and asking for His guidance, trusting in God and letting Him take care of the situation is what's going to make the change. It's how He's going to send people in your path to help you get out of this situation. It's where He's going to give you an idea that you're like, wow, that's a really great idea. Move forward with it, and you're going to see things change. But if we're not giving it to Christ, and we're not asking Him to be in charge of our lives and our choices and decisions, and we're just constantly worrying about something, anxious about it, and we don't want to stop thinking about those things, stop letting it defeat us, stop letting it cripple us, because I know sometimes that's the thing, right? Like we can't even function because we're just so stuck in a funk that we can't function, um, because we're so focused on what is going on. And I know sometimes it is actually really a horrible situation. But if we only focus on that, we can't be free. So, with all that being said, seek God more. Let go of whatever it is. Do your part, but don't dwell on it. You need to let it go. When the thought comes into your mind, what can you do? You can say, God, I don't want to be worrying about this. I know that you are in control. I love you. Love you, bye. I love you, and I know that everything will be okay. I know that I can trust you. You've had my back my whole life, even when I didn't see it. I'm trusting you with this. And stop. And when the thought comes back, because I know how we are, when the thought comes back, let it go. God, I'm surrendering this to you. This is not my problem. This is your problem. Let it go. God is going to take care of you. Don't let the enemy consume you with negativity. Seek God. Trust God. Love God. He loves you. And I love you too. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me.